Hello students, this is the second part of the video in which we are studying the story The Fall of Troy. In the first part itself I told you that it is from the epic Iliad written by Homer, who has also written Odyssey. Now both Iliad or Odyssey are known as epic. What is epic? A long narrative poem. Which are the other epics from India that we are well known with? Ramayana and Mahabharata. Similar story. There are many parallel with, means if you study Iliad, you will realize there are many incidents which appears to be similarly described in Mahabharata too. We have not altogether similar, but something. We can see the similarity. Now when I will tell you this story, you are really going to see, this is something similar we have listened in this epic Mahabharata. Now, it's a long narrative poem. In the starting of the first part itself, I told you what has been described in the starting of the lesson. How was Troy? Troy, Ilium. It was a rich city in Asia Minor, and it has been described how in front of it had a big sea, behind it had Mount Ida, and how streams and rivers streams and rivers were there which were favorable for agriculture, which were favorable for cattle and other things. Trade because of the ships sailing nearby. So it has been described there. And along with that, one thing also has been described. That is the big wall which surrounded the city of Troy. Okay. Now, why was the wall built? To protect the people from the attack of enemies. Okay. Now, every day the gates were open and people used to go out for work, and in the evening they used to return. Okay, and the gates were open most of the time, but they were closed at the time of the war. Why? To protect the people, the subjects in the city from enemies. Now what happened? It was like a strong fortress, which was, what is a fortress? A building or a group of building that is built to defend from attack. Now, Troy was well protected from any enemy coming from the side of sea, because from behind no one could attack it, because it was it was well protected by Mount Ida. Okay. Now, Troy, we can just understand that it was a very strong, rich city, and it was protected by its walls. Now, not only that, it had many warriors, many soldiers who were there to protect it as well. And what had happened actually? Why? The fall of Troy. Why such a big city, which was rich, which was strong, which had strong warriors to protect it, why it fall? Fall means why it was defeated. Why it was defeated. Now, in English, I told you a word can be used at many places, and you have to understand the meaning according to the context given, according to the situation where it has been used. Here, the fall of Troy means the defeat of Troy. So, such a strong city, which was well protected, which had many brave warriors, how it was defeated, that we are going to study in the fall of Troy. Exactly what happened? Defeated means there must be an enemy who had attacked it. So who was the enemy? The enemy was the Greeks. Now, why the enmity rose between the Troy and Greece? Why? Because what had happened actually? Because why Greece declared war against Trojans? Because Paris Prince of Troy. He was Prince of Troy. Paris, Prince of Troy, had persuaded Helen. Who was Helen? Helen was wife of Greek king Menelaus. Now, what had actually happened? Why Troy was defeated? Troy was defeated by the Greeks. Now, why was there enmity between the Greeks and the Trojans? Exactly what had happened? Which was the incident which triggered this war? The incident which triggered this war was Paris, who was Prince of Troy, Ilium. He ran away with wife of Greek king Menelaus. Now, obviously, it was the reason which led to the war between these two. Okay. Similarity, we saw that Ravan, what did he do? He abducted Sita forcibly. Here, Helen was considered as the most beautiful woman in the world at that time. And it was believed that Paris, he persuaded her, he forced her, and she ran away with him. Where did she come? She came to Troy. And this was really a matter of honor, because she was wife, she was the queen of Greece. Okay? That's why both enmity arose between both. Now, the Greeks wanted to take revenge, and that's why they led a siege to the city. What do you mean by siege? They to be surrounded by army. To be surrounded by army. Now why such a big description is given about Troy? Such a big description is given about Troy to let us understand that how well protected it was. So all the Greeks, they sailed through, they came to Troy, and they couldn't enter the city of Troy. Why? It was well protected by the wall. It was well protected by the wall, big wall. And that's why what did they do? They surrounded that wall. All the soldiers were stationed there. They assembled there. Okay. Now, can the people of Troy come out? No. They wanted to be, for their protection, it was necessary to stay inside. Maybe the soldiers were out, but not all the gates were closed to the city. Now, the fighting went on daily. Every day they used to fight on the shore. Okay. Now, but the siege did not end. And for how long did the siege didn't end? The Greeks, they were not able to capture the city. You must be knowing, once you kill the king and capture the city, you are the winner. Means you won the battle, the war. Now, the Trojans were unable to force the Greeks to go away, and the Greeks were unable to enter the city. And thereby, this war continued. For how long? For how long? For almost 10 years. Okay? For almost 10 years. We will see what happened, how exactly the gates were opened, and how Troy was defeated in the next part of the next video. Thank you.